'Cause a lot of people do that, where they'd only have a couple hundred normal games, but thousands of ranked games. So yeah, there we go.
Here we are,
We are in this game now.
bringing up these summoner blockades, so the other team can't really ghost.
Yes, and those are custom summoner blockers. I call them the tower summoner spell.
That's
Takes up both slots, and once every 5 minutes you can summon a tower wherever you want.
Yep.
Clearly it is OP enough for every person on both teams to have it.
That would be awesome. That would be a good way to take tower level 1. 5-man drop
Oh
a
my
tower
God.
strat.
Five towers at enemy blue buff.
Well, that's like what. Do you remember the old rally flag? You could.
Yes,
you
I
used
do.
to take top. You just take surge rally, or no, you take rally and then something else. I don't know. Surge
And
rally,
you teleport to rally too.
or you take rally teleport. No, the rally would tank the tower for you guys.
Yeah, and if the rally was being teleported to, the tower wouldn't
die.
actually damage it.
Yeah, it'd be rally teleport. Thank you very much. So the bans coming out here. Looks like we have Draven and Varus. No one wants either of those.
That's interesting. And let's see, let's try to deduce the final ban from the list to see.
I'm looking for it. It was Heck. No.
Vi banned, Hecarim banned,
can't
Kayle
find
banned, Draven, Varus.
Shen.
Shen.
There's Shen.
Yeah, yeah, found it at the same time. There's Shen. Alright, so Shen is the final band. Once again, a lot of the split pushers being targeted, both Kayle and Shen. Although this time, Hecarim's also banned. We've seen him do some pretty nice play recently, and Vi, as we've said before, one of the bans that are kind of standard now because just so much armor breaking that she's able to have, along with high mobility and good CC. So very, I understand that ban a lot. And for the rest, Draven, Varus, 80 carries, you don't really see them too often, but they are pretty powerful in their own respects, especially in the early game.
I'm really kind of glad to see a Nunu. I haven't seen a Nunu play for a while because Nunu, ever since they nerfed him, I feel like people have been a little afraid to play him.
Come on, Nunu Vayne, you know you want it.
Oh, not Nunu Vayne, like Nunu something else.
Oh, they do have a Mumu, though. Those ultimates will combo pretty well. Nunu's Absolute Zero. Mumu is able to keep everyone in it just so that it can get the full proc onto everyone, and that's a ton of damage. Even if you're playing support, generally, after the Season 3 items, supports are encouraged to build more AP than they were before, so supports will still be supports, and there are some pretty nice low-cost AP items that they can get. That'll help them out a lot.
Just know that if that Nunu gets people and does a nice ultimate, I am going to scream Empire. So, just letting chat know that. For those of chat who doesn't know...
Empire's only when it's in a bush, though.
Yeah, well, okay. In a bush, I meant to say in a bush. I thought I made it clear. But if there... Just in case anyone is not in on that joke yet, there was a team called Empire, which became known as Moscow
M5,
5, which are now
and
known as Gambit.
Yeah.
But they did this very nice play where they chased the Nunu in the bot lane in the bush, and it was like a 3-man gank bot. And Nunu started ulting, and then because of an Ashe, the Ashe's volley of arrows, Karthus ult, and Nunu's ult, it pretty much killed a team.
And when you're in a bush and you ult as Nunu, people actually cannot see the ultimate at all. And I think part of the reason that they didn't suspect it, even though you get horribly slowed when you're in Nunu's ultimate, is that Ashe's volley also slows people. So they figured, alright, we got volleyed by Ashe, that's why we're slowed. But
Yeah.
it was actually Nunu ulting too, so that was definitely a nice play and something that everyone likes to reference nowadays, or almost everyone anyway. Oh, Graves. Oh, I thought we were going to see a Graves pick, and I actually haven't seen that in a really long time. And an AP Zillion.
Very nice. Zillion,
Maybe.
very fun
Probably,
champion
yeah.
to play. Very, just a very, very fun champion overall. And he's going to be fun to see and cast against.
Damn. So, I haven't seen AP Zillion in such a long time. Let's look at the rest of his team. I don't know if that actually synergizes very well, because generally with Zillion you want to have some sort of hyper carry on your team, or hyper bruiser or something like that. where you can just basically give him a second life. That's one of the main points of Zillion. That's one of the main points of Yorick nowadays, because Yorick doesn't really counter many lane opponents anymore. So I would have liked to see something a bit more, uh, something that you would be more inclined to use a Zillion ult on. Uh, I don't really know if Twitch is generally the best person to use that on, but Twitch has been doing pretty well recently. We've seen him being
He's
played a lot in
he's very
LCS.
strong.
And late game, he's a very strong champ in the very late game, so that'll be interesting. Let's see how he's able to use them. Meanwhile, on the purple team, they do have a pretty good amount of lockdown. If Ari is able to catch someone out with Charm, there's just going to be a ton of burst damage to finish off that person. So I'm liking what the purple team is starting to bring. They're definitely got a comp where they're more inclined to catch people out and fight small skirmishes rather than a full-on team fight, which in this case is probably the better idea because, once again, we're seeing blue team opt for a full-on AoE comp with Amumu, Nunu, Rumble with his equalizer, and even Twitch with his ultimate is just it technically AoE because it penetrates multiple enemies. So you also have that.
I do have to say, though, I am liking the blue team's comp a lot more than the purple team's right now. Purple team's definitely a lot stronger in the early game. Sona, Caitlyn's very strong in the lane. So is Ari, and Zillion can't really do all that much against Ari, other than ult himself and kind of survive her burst. But I feel like they have a very good comp for just assassinating. They have Nocturne to just dive in. They have Ari to just get in there and just kind of dive around. And then they have the Zed to do just the same thing. And they have an AoE comp like Twitch turns his ultimate turns his auto attack into like an 850 ranged AoE auto attack. Zillion has the double bombs where he can just instantly do a bunch of damage all around. Nunu has the ult. They do have just so much AoE synergy there, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how purple team reacts to this.
Yeah, purple team. This is definitely going to be an interesting game. I can't really say that either team is going to win right now, but let me just... There you go.
Ichigo and friends, obviously on the blue team. We're going to get in about a minute. It's going to be Ichigo and friends versus the purple team, which is I forgot their name already. I just looked. Suckers Unite.
Yeah, and shout out to God of Peace. He says, you guys are awesome. Why don't you have more viewers? And thank you very much for that comment. We really appreciate it. And we just love to bring you guys some of our brand casting and our tournament, which is a really nice entry-level tournament for a lot of people. We get a ton of sign-ups for this tournament, about a 64-team bracket, and a lot of people, when they are a part of our tournament, they just keep coming back. We keep seeing people like Casual Gaming Center,
Nerve Gaming, just at the
right.
Nth Dimension, which is now New Theta. They've been back.
So many name
2
changes,
weeks
I have to say.
Yeah.
Nerve Gaming.
I believe Salad Chicks has been back a few times. At least.
Yep.
I've only been here for 2 weeks. I'm a fairly new caster, but this is just what I've seen in the past 2 weeks, and I'm really happy.
Yeah, definitely. And going into the skin war right here, my client might be bugging out a little bit, but
I didn't load in yet either. So, got a lot of diamond, and this is going to be a pretty nice game right here. Lots of high level play here.
Not as many skins as last game. Blue team definitely has more. The only one without a skin is Nunu. However, on the purple team, you have Haunting Nocturne, Arcade Sona, and Foxfire Ari. All pretty good skins. Definitely like Foxfire Ari a lot. I think Eternium Nocturne is better than Haunting Nocturne in my opinion. And yeah. Sona's got some pretty cool skins. Arcade Sona is definitely the most creative one, I think, because they've changed most of her animations too.
Yeah, I still kind of wish that the PAX skin was only able to people, only given to people who went to PAX, because that's how they did it every year beforehand. And I felt sad because I went and I got Arcade Sona, but they were just selling it online.
Yeah, That is pretty unfortunate. I haven't seen Pax Jack in such a long time. I've actually seen
he was
more
there
of Pax
last
Zipper
night
than Pax Jack.
when we were playing community ARAMs on this channel last night. He was there.
Oh, I heard you did that in the very middle of the night. Basically, I can't make it.
Yeah, it was pretty late. I just was like, why not?
I think Eastern Standard Time it was 3 a.m. or something.
When I started, maybe it was probably like morning when I ended.
Anyway, we do have everyone summoning. They are about to get into game. Just waiting a little bit longer. Looking at the summoner spells, nothing too much to point out. The main thing I have to say is that Caitlyn did take Barrier. So that very interesting. I think I would have rather seen Cleanse because there's just a lot of things that you would want to cleanse, like Nunu's debilitating slow. You can also cleanse Amumu's snare, which is also very, very, very strong. I'm not sure if Barrier was generally the best pick in this situation, but I personally like Barrier better than Heal. Heal does get pretty much countered by Ignite, while Barrier doesn't, although in terms of Barrier, you have to use it more clutch.
Oh, Nocturne could be getting caught out here. It's very bad. Oh, it doesn't look like they're going to go all in. The Ignite kind of gets wasted, and now Ichigo's in trouble.
Oh my god.
Ichigo gets taken down. I thought they had that Nocturne just locked down, but throwing away first blood so easily. I don't know if all the members were paying attention. They might have been alt-tabbed or looking at a second monitor or something, but that's very unfortunate start. At least it was early enough that he will not miss any CS in lane.
Yeah, nice charm by Ari. That was mainly what turned that gank around. The charm landed perfectly on Ichigo, and he died from that. So, a charm level 1 is really powerful, as a lot of abilities scale. Well, the more you level them up, the longer the stun lasts, or the longer the snare, or whatever CC it is lasts. That's not true with the charm, I don't believe. The charm, it starts off with a very high amount. Let's see, for an entire second, I think it actually does scale.
Yeah,
but still, 1 second is far more than enough to secure a kill like that.
Especially when no one has any other types of reduction yet on CC.
Yeah, and good job for the rest of the red team to capitalize on that too. I saw Sona, she had a fully charged power cord ready for that, and she was able to use that too, and that just helped secure the kill. So very, very nice play by the red team, able to counter that, and now they're ahead. Caitlyn's gotten an assist, Ari's gotten a kill, and she's gone back and gotten a crystalline flask, which I think in this situation is a very, very good item, because basically the entirety of Zillion's kit is poke. That's all he can really do in terms of damage, is poke you down. And with a crystalline flask, that's gonna negate a lot of poke, because you get a bunch of potion charges. Very, very good item pickup there, and she's gonna be able to make very good use of that first blood.
Also, I have to note this bot lane down here. Not only does Caitlyn have a potion over this Twitch because of the fact that she did get the assist on first blood, but Sona is going to give her more sustain. Look, as you can see, Ichigo did opt for the Dorn's Blade. In top lane, we see a Mumu coming in here. He's being taken really low. Rumble is going to try and block him, but they will be able to pick that up. And Zed picking up a double buff. That's going to make it really hard for Rumble. I think this game is just started. Oh, and Ichigo getting picked up. This game is just not going well so far for Ichigo and friends.
Wow, that was a really nice pilt over Peacemaker, and like you said, Twitch did opt to go for the Doran's Blade first. I personally don't like that even on Twitch. I really think that boots are just a better idea. Now Caitlyn can get away without having those boots because she's just got such long range, and she's also got Sona, who can take the Song of Celerity and speed up her teammates. So she doesn't really need the boots as much as Ichigo would. And I believe Twitch actually has a fairly short range for an AD carry, and not sure what Caitlyn's doing. She's going to try to...
Looks like they might try to go aggressive, but Twitch is just too weak. They're both level 3. It looks like Sona getting taken. She might get taken down by the minions. The minions, Twitch flashed after the poison. Will get her. Now Caitlyn is in trouble. Sona just, missing that cask. But here comes a Mumu. Oh, gets the slow, but he's not going to be able to hit the bandage. Very nice flash by Caitlyn.
Caitlyn just doing as all she can to get away from that. Very nice play there, but I don't think they should have gone that far under the tower in the first place, getting way too greedy to try to get one last kill, or try to kill Twitch when he's returning into lane.
Very true.
Probably not the best idea. They were already pretty far ahead. They've gotten 1 kill in that bottom lane, along with the assist on Caitlyn, so they could have just sat on that lead, out-farmed, out-poked, and zoned Twitch to make sure he doesn't reach that endgame. They don't necessarily need to kill him anymore, but now he's got a kill. He might be coming back into it.
And also it looked like Twitch blew his flash, and he didn't really need to. As you noticed, Twitch's poison and the minions just kind of killed it. Sona, so that wasn't really as necessary. So he might have still been able to save his flash there, and that he would have been up a summoner over Caitlyn.
That's very true. And let's see, Arya's already gone back and gotten a Doran's ring as well. Zillion, but ultimately, you know, Ahri is one of those champs that already has natural sustain. And like I said, she's gotten a crystalline flash. She's also gotten some potions on top of that, so she's going to be combating Zillion very well. I think if she were to get a gank pretty soon, they'll be able to do they'll pick up a kill. Unless Zillion reaches level 6.
Zillion is going to hit 6 pretty soon.
Yeah, that's why I said they need to do it pretty soon, because if Zillion hits 6, you need to kill him outside of his tower. If you kill him under the tower, he'll just respawn, and he will be under the towers. So they're trying right now. He's so close to getting 6. I don't think he'll be able to make it in time, but actually, Nocturne just going away from that. So they just missed their chance to catch Zillion before he's level 6. So right now, they're just going to have to make some really, really good action happen. A lot of burst damage, and try to keep him in the center of the lane when he respawns, rather than under his tower.
You want to know what the worst feeling in the world is? When you're sitting at about 100 health, and all of a sudden you see a Zillion bomb over your head.
Yeah, at that point you pretty much know, oh, there's nothing I can really do about this, is there?
Yeah. Unless you, of course, have a spell shield or a heal or something, but it's just a very interesting feeling.
Yep, certainly, and let's see, Caitlyn is still doing pretty well in the bottom lane.
She's bullying Rumble here. She's coming up, but Rumble does pop the ult. Zed dealing so much damage, though. The Ignite and his ult is not going to be able to do anything. Zed with just too much burst, but Amumu coming in with a very nice bandage. Sona might get the slow here, get slowed down here by Nunu's snowball, and she does. Looks like Twitch will pick up that kill with Expunge. Very nice pickups both on top and bottom lane. I guess this still is anyone's game. I would have to give the late game to Twitch Nunu over as far as bot lanes go, because just Twitch he not only has so much utility, but he just fits in with the team comp.
Yeah, although at the same time, I don't think Blue Team has really got a very coordinated team comp, because they've kind of mixed and matched a lot of things. Yes, they do have some pretty nice AoE team fight, but then again, they also have Zillion. That's really the thing that sticks out that I can't really touch upon. I don't know where their heads exactly were at when they did pick Zillion, because he doesn't bring enough AoE damage. He, has 2 bombs, and then he's out of abilities that do damage.
Well, I mean, then I think they took him, if anything, for the utility, because Twitch, as you know, does so much damage. He's probably one of the higher damage late game carries, and Rumble has a lot of good AoE damage. Amumu, not so much, but I think they're going to really bank on Ichigo, which is ironic because it is Ichigo and friends, so they're letting the leader of the team kind of just do that, and for some reason they did all, and here comes Nocturne. Nunu ult goes out. He will get taken down, and unfortunately, Nocturne will be taken down right before Twitch is killed.
Oh!
And Caitlyn too! Twitch gets a double kill.
Wow.
Very, very nice play there by Ichigo.
Very interesting turnaround. I didn't really think that would have happened, but just the tower doing so much damage to both Caitlyn and Nocturne, and that was a very good play by Nunu, just saying, alright, wait, he's ulting. I should probably use my absolute zero, and that really helped them secure the kill, slowing the attack speed of Nocturne, making sure that Ichigo stayed alive for just that tiny bit longer to get those poison counters.
Oh, here comes Ahri, misses the charm. Rumble flashes over Zed. Zed just trying to get away, or Rumble just trying to get away, but Ahri, like I said, so mobile, will just ult over. And Rumble's going to lose a little bit of farm here. Another reason I think that bot lane fight before this one ended up going the way it did, though, is look at Nocturne's build. He doesn't have any defensive stats yet, so that tower just was able to take him down faster than I think he might have predicted.
That's very true, and we see, even though Ari did go top, get a gank, Zillion's just been farming, so he's basically caught back up in farm to Ari, 65 to 70. That's not really going to make too big of a difference, because Zillion is mainly just going to be, like you said, that
here
heal
comes a Mumu, gets the ult on both people. They're focusing Caitlyn, but Twitch is stunned and does not have the cleanse. Caitlyn taking so much damage. A very nice flash is going to end up picking up Caitlyn, but Sona is going to be taking that poison. I don't think she will die from it, though.
Ooh, yeah, unfortunately she won't be dying from that. Great gank by the red team. They are able to... Ooh, in mid lane there's some action.
Zillion
actually, it's just a trade.
Getting hit there. Zillion looked like he wanted to speed up and maybe put another bomb there, but top lane again, Rumble just being bullied, but Rumble very strong top laner. You know, I think especially by going the Doran shield, he's gonna be able to withstand Zed.
And the spell shield on the Nocturne will block out Pocky's snowball. Pretty nice, because there would have been a lot of easy damage for Ichigo to get if that would have landed. However, he's just going to walk away, and Ichigo and Pocky are going to go back. Ichigo is starting to get ahead. He's 5-3. That tower dive really helped him out, and Calamist on Zillion is working his way onto the top lane, hoping to help Gudem out, because Gudem, really, he's pretty far behind right now. He's got the Doran's Blade to negate some of the damage, but he's really going to need help to bring this game back.
Here we go. We have a triple attack top. It looks like Zed just diving on Zillion. Zillion wanting to take that tower, knowing he's going to revive. But now it looks like a Mumu is going to try to take the tower. Well, Zillion gets away, and that will be a free dragon and not even a kill for, you know, Ichigo not even taking that kill from top lane. And was the dragon worth it?
I really don't think so. They are able to take this turret, which will give them some of that gold back. Actually, they might be able to take the turret. Yeah, I think they will. Their next minion wave should be enough to get it. Nocturne's not really close enough to do anything about it. But at the same time, the game is so close that a turret is global gold. It'll put them a little bit far ahead, but I always like to talk about it as a temporary gold advantage, because
everywhere the turrets are always there. If you take dragon, it's, you know, a dragon in the pocket, but if you take a turret, the other person can take a turret too.
Exactly.
Oh no, not quite! Snowball's just getting thrown too slow. That was a very good try by Nunu.
It even hit her. I think it applied the slow in the fountain. That's so unfortunate. If she would have got caught out by that, it was a guaranteed kill. I saw absolutely no way out of that. Flash was down, barrier was down. 90 caliber net, not even close to enough to escape that, so really unfortunate right there, but good ward coverage. And ooh, it looks like Pocky might get caught out here.
Gets the fear off there, taking a lot of damage from Sona, and it looks like Caitlyn did try to ult just there, and instead Nocturne will pick up the kill. Caitlyn's ult, I guess, juked into the bush just for a little bit, so her ult went on the 3-second reset timer.
Pretty unfortunate for Caitlyn, but ultimately they still secured the kill. Good for them.
Actually, it looks like her ult was used. Like, normally it goes on a 3-second reset timer, but like, it's on cooldown.
She might have actually just been spamming click or something, and with movement canceled the channeling of her ultimate. That might have happened, but
that might have done it too. And here comes Zillion. Zed ult was used. Zed is now kind of a little stuck here. Rumble being taken low, though. 2 bombs going down off Zed. Zed being taken so low. Rumble getting Zillion ulted. There's the usefulness of the Zillion. Having an extra life there, and Zed will be taken down that time.
Yeah, Zed kind of knew that he was doomed right there. I'm not sure he should have kept fighting that to begin with. I think he should have used some of his dashes and high mobility to get out of there. When you see a Zillion, even if you can try to pick up a kill, you should have in your mind, alright, he's just going to revive that person, and I won't really secure the kill at all, so...
very nice by Mumu. Ari's going to get caught out here. I think the bomb is going to be able to finish her off here. Yes, that Zillion bomb above your head, but Nocturne is being surrounded, trying to go on Ichigo, but very nice. Ichigo picking, well no, Ichigo didn't get the kill, but Ichigo ends up living, and the Caitlyn ult goes down. Nothing anyone can do about it. As you can see, everyone's low but Rumble, and Rumble It's a bit too far away. Looks like he might try to make something happen here. Gets the slow off Sona. Misses the second one, though. Will she be able to be taken down? Almost taking down Zilean, though. Zilean, don't think he had his ult. No, he did not have it up. But very good play by Rumble.
Close. Pretty interesting fights. The score is now tied 9-9. However, that dragon really helped the red team get into the lead. Not only that, but they're also ahead in farm, so that's going to help them out a bunch too. So they are pretty far ahead in this game in terms of, well, not pretty far, but they're still ahead in this game in terms of gold lead. However, the blue team does have a slight turret advantage, and that's going to be somewhat. In this case, I would say the map control matters a bit more than the gold difference from those towers matter, as they're still behind, and as I always like to say that map control is very important in a game, and as we've seen before, if a minion push is in your favor, it really helps out, because it's basically saying, alright, we know, take bot lane for example, the minions are pushed all the way to the enemy turret, so they can basically fight in other lanes, and they don't have to worry about their bottom tower getting taken out anytime soon.
Bot lane really pushing helps. Take Baron.
Exactly.
And then they'll have to make a decision, either fight 4v5 at Baron or lose a turret.
Yeah, and that's another thing that a turret advantage in map control and even minion pushing has to do with high level play, and a lot of people take this stuff for granted, say, alright, we have minions pushing, but they're just minions, they're not going to be able to do too much. That's wrong, but because even if you have an amazing split pusher, that person's generally not going to be able to do too much unless there are minions to tank the tower. And if your minions aren't pushed up far enough, then you don't have anything to tank the tower. You're going to have to clear 2 or 3 waves before you actually start hitting a turret, and in that time a teamfight could have easily been won. A little early on the spell shield by Nocturne there, taking a bit of free damage.
Maybe not quite realizing how long the bomb took. Zilean though, just doing some farming with those bombs. Not
Caitlyn's
really
standing right next to it. I don't know. I don't know if she didn't see that or
she took that bomb hit.
Just didn't care. She does have quite a bit of lifesteal.
Oh,
so
this could be bad on Twitch. Getting caught out. But no, they can't follow up as a Mumu is there, and the ult will go out. Sona will not be able to flash it. Nocturne will get hit by it too. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to capitalize it on this though. As, oh, Caitlyn does get shut down by Twitch. Nocturne being taken solo, and he does have that bomb. And Caitlyn does use the ace in the hole. Looks like Zed now is being sought after. Zilean will pick up that kill, even though Zed will take him down. Now it is just Rumble and a Mumu. Oh, that was a pretty even fight. I don't know what to think about that.
These fights are really hard to follow sometimes because of the revive by Zilean is basically, alright, this guy died. Wait, actually he didn't. Never mind, he's back up. So at the end when you recapped, alright, now Zilean's dead, the only people alive are Rumble and Amumu. I did a little double take to figure that out, but ultimately a 3v3 trade, these fights are really even, and that engagement was pretty bad for the blue team. They basically tried to catch someone out, but they tried to catch Ichigo out, but it wasn't effective. Sona wasted her ult on that, and they didn't actually capitalize, or they weren't able to capitalize and kill Ichigo, so Sona's ult was down that fight. And they also got initiated on by Amumu. So I feel like if Red Team were to get all of their spells off, and they were to fight under their own terms, they could easily take these fights, because that was an even fight, and they had some disadvantages.
Looks like the pink ward will go out, and they will be looking to just clear the dragon wards. I think they might be looking to take dragon here. Ichigo,
both teams
of course,
just trying.
Yeah, gonna push up the bottom lane.
Yep, Ichigo. He knows that he's not quite needed yet, and right there, red team starts it. Ichigo is on his way up. Although blue team is split up, they're gonna try to pull a pincer move. But red team is smart to that. They start trying to back out. This is an amazing standoff right now. Now the team really wants to engage, because if one team engages incorrectly, then that is the entire team fight along with the dragon.
Oh, Mumu barely missing that bandage. If he would have hit that, that would have been a great engagement. Flashes, catches 2 of them. Rumble all going down on Nocturne and Caitlyn. And Zed does have the Zilean bomb. He might end up killing Nocturne here. Nocturne flashes out though. And it looks like this fight is going slightly in favor of Ichigo and friends. Zillion barely making it out, getting caught by the trap, but Nunu will get taken down by Caitlyn as Zillion bombs take Caitlyn down herself. That was a 3-for-2 trade. Very, very good. And I think this will be a dragon for Ichigo and friends, which should narrow the gold gap a little bit.
Yeah, that was an amazing Amumu ult, by the way, too. It barely caught Caitlyn at the edge of its range, and Caitlyn, just being a squishy champ, she is most of the red team's damage. She died first in that fight.
Ichigo gets caught out by Ari, taking so much damage. Not sure he's going to be able to survive this. Nocturne coming in, and maybe if Nocturne didn't come in, might have been able to take down Grumpy. But very nice on Nocturne to respond like that.
Definitely. And one thing I would actually like to point out about that last fight is that Sona, when she ulted the back line of red team. That included, I think, Pocky, Calamist, and Ichigo. Even though those are some of the more squishy champs that do more damage, I think she would have done a lot better if she'd have used her ultimate on the people who were diving Caitlyn, just to make sure Caitlyn got out alive and was able to use her range to her advantage to keep doing that damage. I personally think that would have helped their fight out a lot more. And as we see, Caitlyn still does a lot of damage. She's got 5 kills and 5 assists. She's got an infinity edge. So she's going to be doing a lot of damage with crits too. If she's standing in a bush, she gets headshot procs too. That's a lot of damage. So keeping her alive, I think, should be Sona's prime directive rather than trying to lock down the enemy team, especially when they get initiated on.
Yeah, very true. And another thing I liked about that fight at Dragon is just that equalizer just was so well placed back. It not only prevented Nocturne from instantly jumping in the fight, but it just was even more crucial in, just hurting Caitlyn and making her want to leave. Looks like Amumu will jump in, though. He does have the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and that will be used. Equalizer goes down on Sona. Not the best use of Equalizer. Ichigo, though, taking a lot of pain. Actually, Zillion does ult himself, and Rumble able to pick up Sona there, but I think that fight went... Actually, no, Zillion picking up Nocturne there, but still, that fight going in the favor of United over here.
Yeah, that a very interesting game that's going on back and forth a lot. We see team fights being taken by either team, and that time I really think it was just blue team not fighting the favorable engagement on their side. They didn't get their abilities out the way they'd liked. As you said during that fight, the equalizer, not quite the best placement of that, certainly didn't help their team fight, and red team had pretty nice positioning there, and they were able to use their mobility to their advantage with Zed's dashes along with Ari's dashes. So very good job by the red team. They need to keep fighting some more fights like that instead of being caught out by Amumu like they were before, where Caitlyn was right in the midst of Amumu's ult and she was bursted down first. Glad that didn't happen here this time, and they are 4k gold ahead. That's once again in CS and towers more than it is in kills. So objectives definitely making this a part of the game that really matters. And just the outer turrets taken for the red team. The blue team has taken the top inner turret. So
yeah,
that
just,
is going to be pushing.
Something about that last fight just ended up like Ichigo. I'm going to use his name. Just died too fast in that fight, and he wasn't able to put out damage for very long. And I think that was one of the key things that led to them losing that team fight. So they need to try and protect Ichigo. He is the biggest damage source other than Zillion and Rumble on that team. Nunu, has a little bit of damage, has a good ult. It's very good for zoning and whatnot. And Mumu does a little bit of damage too. But the most important thing is really that Twitch and that Rumble.
Yeah, Zillion, it's at the point in the game where Zillion's damage is going to start falling off. He does have a death cap, but generally he doesn't scale as well as other AP carries because he's just not as spammy. His time bomb is on a 6-second cooldown. That's his only offensive ability. Rewind refreshes his cooldown, so he gets a double bomb, and then after that has to wait 6 seconds every single time before he puts out any more damage at all. So basically, near the end of the game, he's going to be used more for utility in terms of the time warp, along with Chrono Shift. Chrono Shift, once again, reviving people. That can be really, really good when used on Ichigo if he does get burst down again, like he did that fight.
It's a free
and
GA.
I think, yeah, it's a free GA, and I think Calamist, probably not the best idea to use his ultimate on himself. Perhaps he was just not quite in the right position to ult Ichigo before he ended up dying.
Well, both teams just going back to base here. It doesn't look like there's any action yet, but we could see the Baron dance coming out in a few minutes here. Both teams getting pretty strong for Twitch. We have a Bloodthirster, and they're getting a Giant Belt coming out, and that's going to really help. It's going to make it so he's just not bursted as easily. And Nunu could get caught out here if they're not careful, but looks like the Charm, ooh, barely hit Nunu, but they're not going to capitalize.
Certainly not, and looks like Ichigo is stealthed and trying to rush towards the enemy team, but however, nothing much in terms of action. Oh, Yaga looks like he's trying to find an engagement.
Ari dashes into that. Dashes right into the grab, but unfortunately her ult is blown. It's not going to be there in the next fight. Looking to put out some damage, and I don't know why Pocky took that. He's kind of low, but Twitch's ult goes down. Zed being taken so low. Unfortunately, he's still alive. Amumu jumps in, gets the ult. Ari gets caught by it, and there goes the equalizer. Ari will escape that fight, however, though Sona will not. Sona will be taken down. Zed unable to even come back in the fight. Ari does get taken down, though, by a Zillion bomb. And Zillion, again, that revive. They don't lose any time, and I think that will be a Baron Nashor coming out on for Ichigo and friends. That should definitely close the gold gap a little bit.
Yeah, and yep, that is a Baron for them. It looks like Red Team does know about it. They're going to see if there's anything they can do. Ichigo is right stealth. Oh my god.
Get Caitlyn. Oh, Caitlyn falls down, and now Zillion. That's definitely going to be a free Baron, but they do have the smite, though. Nocturne could possibly smite steal it with the Paranoia.
Yes, Paranoia does damage in itself. I think you can actually only target champs with that.
Well,
so
I mean just
not really much point in me saying that.
I meant jumping with the Paranoia. That's what I meant by that. Like he could Paranoia someone.
He could do that. He could also flash, but it looks like they're just going to play it safe. They'd rather save all of their members for the next fight rather than risk someone trying to steal Baron, because Baron steals are still really rare. I mean, I only see them happen once every 6 times or so, and you know, risk rewards. If you get taken down in trying to steal that Baron, that's one person you're down for the next fight. And Nocturne really is the tankiest character, I think, for the red team. Let me check out Zed.
Yeah, Nocturne.
Yeah, he is. Nocturne is the tankiest character.
And getting that, is that the, is it the Lizard?
Oh, Lizard Elder.
Lizard Elder, yeah.
Yeah. So Nocturne is basically red team's tank. If he's down in a fight, then red team's really going to be at a heavy disadvantage during the next fight, and blue team can just use that to push down a tower or anything. So if he's not able to steal that Baron, then the consequences are far greater than the chances he will be able to steal that Baron. And blue team just figuring out that, oh, they just took drag. I don't really think they care too much, because they did just get Baron, which in the immediate sense, Baron is much more useful. Not only that, but it does give a greater gold advantage. A greater global gold advantage.
But the gold advantage still sitting on United over here, and Amumu doesn't quite get the bandage toss, but I think they might be able to push this tower here, and Twitch really strong. But Amumu taking, you know, a little bit of free poke.
And right there, one free turret basically. The only thing that happened was Amumu lost a little bit of his health, and now both teams are mobilizing top. Red team can definitely predict the blue team are headed top lane. They did see them leave the mid lane towards the top, so they obviously know that they're going to push a tower. When you have Baron, you want to be pushing, you want to be team fighting, you want to make as much action happen when you have that Baron as possible. So blue team is doing just that, and red team, they know it. They know that blue team is just going to be running around stealing as many things as they can, trying to take towers. And red team's really just forced to be on the defensive this entire time, which is pretty bad, because blue team's going to be able to force every lane to push in their favor.
Yeah. All they really need to do is they just need to hold it out, wait for Baron to stop, and then try and just win a fight again. They're still in the lead. Some of their characters are still stronger. For example, Caitlyn might do slightly more single target damage than Twitch, but Twitch does have that AoE, and again, Ari looks like, I'm not really sure who's stronger. It looks like Zillion's probably a little bit stronger on that front. But Zed,
well, in terms of items, but I think Ari as a champ this late in the game is a bit stronger. Well, stronger in terms of damage output and whatnot.
Yeah.
Zillion's definitely once again got Chrono Shift. But Ari she's got her spells up much more often, and all of her spells damage. So if she does a full-on burst, she's certainly going to be doing more damage than Zillion yet. Let me check up on the math of that, see if my maths is correct.
Alright, well, looks like just farming up here, which, you know, is pretty smart. At least the red team gets their blue, so they are not going to be able to pressure that with Baron. It looks like Ichigo and friends, people just backing off. Twitch will come out with the Mormogs. That will make him a lot less burstable. Well, still doing a good amount of damage. Warmogs, of course, replacing the GA and Banshee's Veil and other items for defensive items for, you know, the AD carry, being much more cost effective and just helping out a lot more because it prevents a lot of the early game burst that, you know, would go on an AD carry. And AD carries, you know, usually have ways to escape and get away from burst. As long as you can survive that initial burst, you know, it's even better than having a Guardian Angel, and I think that's why AD carries get Warmogs now. That and Warmogs is just OP.
And there goes the Baron buff for the blue team. It just wore off. I don't know if red team knows that it wore off yet, but they got to be figuring, alright, it's been a pretty long time since they've taken Baron. And at this level of play, I can imagine that they're also running timers on when the blue team got Baron, and they know how long it lasts. So at this point they should... Well, they just cleared a minion wave, so hopefully blue team or red team figured out that blue team no longer has Baron. But both teams are getting ready for a fight. They're sticking way together in generally the same place in the jungle. Amumu is staying a little bit farther ahead of the rest of his team to see if he can pull off a nice Curse of the Sad Mummy again. But it looks like they'll just go back.
The action has gone pretty stagnant here, just farming up. So we're going to have to see, because at this late in the game, when it starts getting past 30-40 minutes, one fight can cost you, you know, tons of towers and even the game sometimes. And so everyone's trying to be careful. And one thing to note is Twitch has been having this oracles, and I think it's done wonders because it's kept United super scared. So they really haven't been able to do anything because they're not able to have any ward coverage.
Yeah, like I said last game or the game before, information just wards win wars, man. And it looks like a full-on Shiralee's popped. They're going to try to make action happen on the red buff, but red team has already backed out of that. So used up Shiralee's, that's going to be pretty...
About a minute.
Yeah, it's going to be about a minute. So there's not really that big of a window for red team to make anything happen from that, and both teams are just kind of backing off. So looks like they'll have that Shiralee's for the next fight.
Uh-oh.
And I feel like if both teams right now, if they both turtle out and farm up, it'll be in the blue team's favor. They have some really nice late game champs in terms of Twitch and Rumble, along with nice initiation skills by Amumu, just able to lock down a lot of people, followed up by Nunu's ultimate. If Nunu gets a little bit more AP, he's going to be doing quite a bit of damage. I think it's still his ultimate still scales on like a 3-to-1 ratio, which is a very, very high, or 2.5 to 1. So the longer they wait, I think blue team's going to have an advantage.
That is very true, but remember, eventually everyone will be level 18. Everyone will be, you know, full items, and you know they will may have a team fight advantage, but that's going to equalize the field a little bit. You see how equal the fights are, and how both teams have been taking certain fights, and you know, if the red team plays this right, they can easily win those fights. So we'll just really have to see how this turns out, and I think blue team just needs to close out this game with a really well-placed fight. And this could be it. They're all stacked up on a ward.
In a bush.
In a bush. So this could be bad.
Ooh, they're backing off. That's a good idea. If Amumu were to ult in or Rumble placed his equalizer, that would have been an entirely dead team. Against an AoE comp, you definitely don't want to all stand in the same bush. But at the same time, they backed out and started taking wolves, so they've given up the Baron positioning. That is not good for them, but they've also forced blue team out of that Baron position. Neither team wants to risk an engagement right now because they know if we lose an engagement, that's going to put us in the lead so much, or that's going to put us behind so much, and it might even win the game depending on how well the fights go. If it's a 5-0,
wasting a little bit of time there, just kind of dancing around that little wall, and because of it, they'll lose a turret, which you know is just going to get them more gold. It's going to help them stay in the lead, despite the fact that right now Ichigo and friends has complete map dominance.
Yeah, and Suckers Unite right now, they've gotten 3 assassins. So in the late game, and right now basically is the late game, it's nearing it very quickly. They don't want to fight a straight up fight. With 3 assassins, you don't have a lot of sustained damage, and you generally don't have a lot of AoE damage.
Uh-oh,
You have a lot of burst
that was
damage.
almost engaged there. Mumu taking a little damage though. No bandage toss for a while though. And it looks like the ult barely hitting anyone. Nocturne spell shielded. This could be the fight that the red team wants. Twitch getting Zilean ulted, but he's not being taken down. There he goes down. Zilean doing a lot of damage though. Those bombs actually helping more than you think. Will Caitlyn be taken down? No. However, that fight, ended up being pretty even. But right now, Ichigo is stronger off right now, and it looks like
Here's the bomb.
Ari just accepting her fates and saying her last words. But
That's really unfortunate. You
I
get out
thought-
of a fight with a bomb.
I thought that fight was right off the bat was going in the way of the red team, but I was proven wrong by Ichigo and friends. They just did that so much nicely, and even though the engagement wasn't exactly good for them, they just followed up, magnificently. They carried through that fight, and only a Mumu died in the Zilean ult, saving Twitch there and getting him, through. They pretty much blew everything on Twitch. Nocturne ulted Twitch, Zed ulted Twitch. So much was blown on Twitch, and Zilean, may not have constant damage output, but when everyone is kind of clumped up like that, that and Rumble can pretty much, be Twitch's blocker.
As I was saying before that fight actually broke out, Red Team basically has 3 assassins in terms of Zed, Nocturne, and Ahri, so that's a ton of burst damage, but their only sustained damage really is Caitlyn. So if they expend all of that burst damage on one champ and it doesn't actually kill them, they're going to be behind for the rest of the game. And in that last fight, you saw that
Could
basically
be bad for the red team, but they are going to back off.
I was gonna say, during that fight, we saw a lot of health bars depleting rapidly, but if they don't actually completely kill someone, then the burst has basically gone to waste, and the blue team can easily come back from that. So, looked like red team was in the lead, but they didn't actually secure any of the kills.
Well, like we were saying in picks, maybe the Zilean pick was smarter after all. Seeing because Zed was an early pick and Nocturne was an early pick, they knew that there was going to be this assassin and just burst the carry comp. So by picking Zilean, they negated that. They negated the entire pretty much dive team comp for red team. So they're going to have to find an interesting way to win this, which I really can't call what that is.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They're going to have to out-mind game the enemy. They can't win a straight-up team fight. And the thing about assassin comps is that what you want to be doing is catching people out. Blue team's been doing an amazing job of sticking together as a 5-man whenever they go to fight, whenever they go to contest Baron or anything like that. So at this point, I think red team really needs to come up with something creative to try to catch people out, basically. I don't know if that's going to come in terms of split pushing. That split pushing might help a little bit. However, if they do split push, they're giving up a lot of positioning, and blue team might be able to just straight up take a tower if not everyone is there ready to fight. So it's going to be really hard for the red team to come back into this, and it's very interesting when you say that because there's only a 1k gold lead. Definitely the gold is not what's making this game. It's the team comps. So red team just roaming around as a 5, hoping they can catch someone out. Twitch isn't actually in the fight, and red team might know this, so they're going for Baron. Blue team is in the place to stop it. Will Twitch make it there in time?
I don't know, we'll have to see this, but I'm not sure if they're going to fully engage. It looks like they will. They know Twitch is not in this fight yet, so this is the time to win. Unfortunately, they're so tanky, and this assassin comp just can't work, and Twitch has arrived in the fight. Rumble being taken really low, but he will Zanya's. Amumu will fall, but Twitch looks like he's going to pick up that Caitlyn, and that's going to be a Baron.
A triple kill for Twitch. They weren't actually able to make that happen before Twitch was got in the fight, and not only that, but that was a really nice Amumu initiation, taking down a lot of Sona's health and snaring a few other members of the red team too. So blue team once again fighting their fights really well, and red team just, I don't really think a desperation Baron was what they wanted to do there, because even in a 4v5 they still can't take the fight. They need to catch 1 or 2 people out at a time is what they needed to do to win, and getting a Baron definitely wasn't something to try to make that happen.
As you saw in that last team fight also, just the sheer fact that they had the advantage because Twitch wasn't there, but even then, Rumble, he has a Giant's belt, he has Zanya's, he has lots of armor, and he has health. Same with Amumu, same, Zillion has magic resist. I just don't think that they really have the burst damage. They are all assassins. They're not good at assassinating bruisers because they're just too tanky. And right now, almost everyone on Ichigo and friends, I would call at least a half bruiser. Because they just have, every single person has at least some form of defenses. And not to mention that, they have that Zillion ult. And that Zillion ult is pretty much an extra life for the carry. So he not only got the benefit of Warmogs, but he essentially has a GA attached to it. So I think, we're really going to have to, like you keep saying, I know you keep saying it, but that's because exactly what needs to happen. They just need to pick someone out. I think that is Red's main chance of winning this game. They need to do something crazy, and they need to do something unexpected.
Yeah, and unexpected is really the word that is... It really describes this really well, because if you can't really win this game in an orthodox way anymore if you're the red team. You just can't team fight. We've been seeing what their team fighting has been doing. So much tankiness on the blue team and the Zillion ult, you can't burst someone down with assassins. So we keep repeating it, but it's really the truth when we say they have to catch someone out. And it's getting harder and harder to do that because blue team knows, alright, we've got to stick together. We've got some amazing team fighting. And right now Twitch is in the bottom lane, but there's still 4 members of the blue team grouped together. They might actually be able to catch out Nunu, but I don't know if they have enough sight to be able to do that. And no, they do not, so they're just going to have to push lanes. That's all they can really do. Even at this point, in the red team's position, you can't turtle out to win. You can't turtle out to win because the enemy team just has a better late game comp. So
the one exception to that would be if the blue team, because like I said, although the gold difference is starting to widen, but I mean the red team is still fairly strong. United can still pull a victory out of here if Ichigo and friends did engage directly under a tower. Like if they dove the Nexus towers, they might be able to use the wherever the tower aggroes as their advantage to get that extra burst damage they might need. But again, like this game is being drawn on because not only is Ichigo being so careful, but barely missing that Amumu bandage toss. But Ichigo's just being really careful with their engagements because they know that the red team is still strong. They want to be safe.
This is a very odd thing right now, but in initiation.
There goes the initiation. Amumu hitting that ult on Zed and Ahri. Ahri getting out of that fight, not putting out any damage right now. Sona being taken down. And actually Twitch was taken down. He was not Zillion ulted. This could be what he needed. Amumu being killed by Ahri too. And now Caitlyn's in trouble. Nunu tanking the tower though. And I'm not sure if any of them have home guard boots. Yes, Ahri buys home guard boots really quickly. Might be able to do another pick, but no. It's not the smart idea. It looks like, home guard is picked up. Again, just showing that both teams still very even. I mean, that fight wasn't even under a tower, and that time they actually got Twitch.
Yeah,
which was what they needed exactly.
Something I was saying before that fight happened, or was about to say anyway, was that at this point, red team, they can win a team fight. And a lot of times when we see games this late into a game, we can say, alright, they can win a team fight, they'll get a better gold advantage, they'll be able to get their way back into this, and start winning more team fights. That's not the case here. No matter how many team fights red team wins, no matter how far ahead they get in gold from this point on, most of blue team is already full build, so you can't really get too much advantage over them. You just kind of have to meet them, and even if they do meet them, there's still... like we've said, blue team has better team fighting, so they're going to have to win multiple fights in a row, and one of those fights isn't going to snowball the rest. And what they need to do is win those fights, and those fights need to be heavy enough wins. Like, it can't just be a 2 for 3, because then there's still enough people to defend a tower. They need to get enough kills and keep enough of their own members alive to push down a tower, and at this point, I want to say they have to push down an inhibitor in the next fight if they want to win.
I will say this, very smart purchase coming out by Zinkus, this Sona right here. As you see, he's building towards that bulwark. That's going to help a lot because if you look at their damage, if the assassin comp can pick off Twitch, That's going to be an extra 30 magic resist against Rumble, Amumu, and Zillion, all AP casters. And oh no, this could be very bad. Sona popping the ult, everyone getting hit by it. And it looks like she will go down here. Twitch hammering away at Nocturne up there. Nocturne going to be a little faster, but oh, Twitch does blow the flash. And he does have a lot of speed, but not going to go in. Seeing that Ari and Zed are right there, Twitch is still very burstable. But
and you know, Twitch has a Warmogs, of course, because Warmogs is a really good item right now.
yeah.
I don't really like where it is, because right now, basically, no matter who you are, you can get one. You're an AD carry, you get a Warmogs, and it still works really well.
Well, you used to get GAs and whatnot. For
that's true.
So it's generally as an AD carry, you always want one defensive item just to help out.
But then again, imagine Twitch is with the GA. So you get the GA if Zillion does miss his ult, or you could just be double revived.
The main problem with that, though, the advantage I see of Warmogs over GA, and I as an AD carry started building GA. I don't build GA anymore, and the reason is because your positioning, you can't reposition while you're in GA, so you could get caught out, whereas Warmogs can protect you. And this is going to be an engage. Some of the member of blue team pretty low. Amumu all going to do that, but Nocturne diving on Rumble. This could be a kill, but no. The very good Zhonya's, and Twitch is just hammering away, but he gets the kill. This could be the turnaround right here. Zillion is back up. However, he is going to be forced back. There is only 2 members of Ichigo and friends alive, and you know, red team, no one got lost. No one got taken down.
Wow. And they're doing some pushing right here. I really think that's what they needed to be doing. They need to push out every lane they can.
Need to push, or they need to take that Baron. They need to do something with their advantage. But at this point, you know, they have an inhibitor down. I'm not sure if Nocturne's going to be able to solo that.
Someone needs to start get top lane pushing in their favor, because that's the only bear inhibitor turret. That's the only way they're pushed into the base, because mid lane, you know, even though they have those towers down, they still have super minions pushing against them, and they are taking Baron. I don't know if they'll be fast enough. Zillion's here. He might be able to pull off the most amazingly timed bomb ever, but it doesn't look like it.
4-second foresight.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, more impressive than a Lux ult, to be sure. For sure, I mean.
Oh, well, this just proves that this is still a very even game. This game is, you know, still I can't even see an end in sight. I think we're going to be taken in a hyper late game, which is pretty much when one team dies, they lose, because, you know, the spawn timers at that point are a minute to 2 minutes each. So this is a very exciting game. Each fight is just, you know, someone else is taking the cup.
Yeah, and this is still such an intense game. 47, almost 50 minutes into the game. Right now, the goal difference hardly matters. Both teams are right nearing full build.
The
supports,
have almost identical items. I don't know why Nunu has a red pot over a few wards, though. But or a pink ward or an oracles or something. But maybe maybe it'll make the difference. We'll see. Looks like they could be wanting to make an engagement here. Amumu going in, not hitting his bandage toss though. Now he's just taking some free damage and gets caught. That's not going to be good. Paranoia is popped. He does dive on Ichigo. Ichigo does get the Zillion ult though. Lots of damage going out. Zillion is Zhonya's too, but Zed is still pretty full health. Nocturne goes down first. Caitlyn almost getting taken down, and yeah, it looks like actually Caitlyn will take down Nunu, and that bomb, will it take down Sona? No, it will not. Flashing just to make sure. And again, look at the fight turnout. It was completely even. They're able to defend, but they're not going to be able to do anything against this Twitch. This Twitch completely full built. And has Blade of the Rune King. I can't say that that's the best purchase. I guess it actually Blade of the Rune King being taken by 4 members of both teams. 3 members of the other team. I think Blade of the Rune King, just because Warmogs is becoming so popular, has maybe upped in popularity.
Certainly. And I think that the fact that Nocturne has a frozen heart is definitely helping.
Oh, this is going to be big if Ichigo can get this kill right here. And yes, he does. That is minus an 80 carry. That is not going to be good if they decide to make something happen. 68 seconds. Yes, very true. They can make something happen here. Ichigo getting the jump on Caitlyn was just enough to make it so that, you know, she just got taken down.
I really don't think the best decision for Ichigo after that was to go directly back. I think the rest of his team, along with him, needs to start pushing, doing something. Amumu's doing that, but, you know, Zillion's headed down bot lane. Everyone's kind of not coordinated very well right now, and they're not taking advantage of the fact that Caitlyn got killed. At this point, even though that was a really nice play by Ichigo, it might not matter if they can't make anything happen by the time Caitlyn comes back up.
Yeah, they just at this point, they just need to end this game, and I think all of the blue team mobilizing just a bit too late here. Will Amumu be able to catch anything out? The bandage toss does go out on Ahri. The flash ult catches 3 of them, and the equalizer goes down. Unfortunately, Ahri still has an ult tick left, and oh my god, 2 people getting taken down by Zillion bombs. This might be another one, and this might be the fight that causes GG. 3 members down for about 70 seconds each. It looks like they're going to keep pushing. Ahri and Caitlyn are still here, and they have home guard. But I'm not sure what they can do because they still have Ichigo and they still have Rumble. And no, they're getting scared. They're just gonna take the outer inhibitors.
Yeah, they can, even though they're under towers, they can still kill both Caitlyn and Ahri. They do have the damage. They do have the they do have quite a bit of mobility too.
Looks like they're just
with Nunu Blood Boil, and I don't think that's a good idea to back out. They should.
That was their chance. That was their advantage, and I just feel like that's a missed opportunity. But then again, it's not what's going to lose them the game. They just, you know, they have another option later if they have another good fight like that. But who knows? The fight may go the other way next time.
Yeah, we've been seeing blue team actually lost 2 fights in a row prior to this one, so these fights still could go either way. It just depends on how both teams initiate and how their positioning is. If Caitlyn can stay near the back line and keep doing as much damage as she's doing, she's going to be putting out so much damage, and that's going to help win a team fight. Ahri's been doing really good at dodging people's abilities, especially just dashing over the Rumble Equalizer, dashing out of range of Amumu's ulti, stuff like that. Both teams so close right now, and one Nexus turret was all they needed, really. One Nexus turret would have been enough, because if they take down one Nexus turret, they could then back out, prepare for another fight. And during the next fight, they'll only be fighting under 1 tower as opposed to 2, which makes a bigger difference than a lot of people think it does, especially, say, they fight near the edge of the base, away from the tower. They win a fight, and they come out with 2 people alive, or let's say 3 people alive, and red team comes out with 2 people alive. Now, even though they've won that fight, if there's 2 towers there, they're not going to want to fight under that tower, for sure. But if there's 1 tower there, they might be able to manage it, especially if they use something like an Amumu Bandage Toss to go in for that, and followed up with Ichigo's supreme amount of damage. So, yeah, reiterating the same point a lot, but really think they should have just went for one of the towers at the very least.
It looks like they might be looking to push bot lane too, and this is a good move because the other lanes are going to push. I think they might want to wait just a little bit for that to happen, but looks like they are just going to siege this, which, you know, could be really good. Nocturne taking a whole lot of damage, spell shielding the slow though, and yeah, like if they continue to siege this tower, what's going to happen is just the other ones are going to push, and if someone goes to stop another lane from pushing, that could be the engage. But it looks like just Ichigo and friends just fearful to finish the game, knowing how strong the red team is and how even this actually is. I gotta give it to them. They're not overstepping their boundaries, but still, they're just not finding the courage to close the game. And this tower, team taking down to half. Ichigo very strong right now.
Hockey taking quite a bit of damage. He's already at half health. It doesn't seem like too much because he's a tank, but ultimately at this point, just a tiny 100 health could really make the difference.
Look, there's the pushing that I was talking about. The pushing occurring right up here. Their tower is taken already down to half health. Caitlyn has been forced to back off, so if there was one time to engage and take this turret, it's now, because Ahri and Caitlyn aren't there, and they are going to do just that. And there's going to be the engage. Sona ult, Nocturne ult, go down. Nunu ult is going up. Everyone is going to get hit by that. Nocturne takes down, and Twitch doing so much damage to everyone. Ahri is the next target. Caitlyn is not quite dead yet, but she did just get slown by Zillion, and now it looks like Ahri is in trouble here. Twitch is just too strong, and it had just the very, very best. She might get taken down here. Twitch doing so much damage, able to negate the
Penta!
bottom's healing. Pentakill! Pentakill! And that's gonna be GG! GG goes out to
Way to end
Ichigo
the
and
game.
friends. Ending a 55-minute game with a pentakill.
Oh my god, that was so intense. I loved watching that game.
That game was very, very good.
Wow.
Ichigo, props to you guys for just holding it out there.
Oh yeah, both teams just showed really, really well. And definitely not to discredit the purple team at all, not to discredit the red team. They fought back extremely well. They took some fights near the end. For what their team comp was and what their team comp was going against, they did some amazing plays and they were able to hold their own this much. I mean, for the most part, a lot of teams I see, if they were to fight against something that the blue team is running, just a straight up engage comp with a late game Twitch, most teams wouldn't be able to hold their own this far. And I can say that probably from experience. I think obviously not this exact team comp, but late game heavy AoE team comps, I've definitely seen people fail against those, and definitely props to the red team for holding that out. But the blue team, at the same time, they were able to make their comp work so well. They had a lot of smart plays. They did take down those 2 inhibitors, and that just basically allowed them to win the end of the game. Even though we said we would have liked that to happen earlier, and it might have ended the game a little bit.
It was good. The pentakill was worth it.
Either way.
The pentakill was worth it.
Yeah, the pentakill.